So here we are at the town of Farmington, University of Maine at Farmington compost site. It's called the FCC, or the Farmington Compost Cooperative. And one of the aspects of this site is we're trying to incorporate the citizens of Farmington to be able to bring in food scraps from home. So we've set this reception area here, which is just a 34-gallon toter, and people bring clean food scraps from their home and place it in this container. And here you can see, for example, if you want to come zoom in, you can actually see the food scraps in this container. Come on down. Can you see in there?
Yeah, I zoomed right in.
All right, sweet, okay, great. And then follow me this way. We've dedicated this site to Dr. Tom Easler in his memory. He was a University of Maine at Farmington professor of geology who also taught their sustainability and a lot of their environmental sustainability classes. And Tom was a big fan of composting, and near the end, when the previous director, Ron Slater, passed away, Tom took over as the facility operator until his untimely death as well. So basically, Tom was kind of the father and the spirit of this facility, and what the sign says is, during his long tenure at UMF, Tom continually stressed the value of environmental stewardship and community involvement. This value he further exemplified by joining the Farmington Compost Cooperative as an advisor and eventually volunteering to run the whole operation. He especially enjoyed working with UMF students and meeting with the many townsfolk during annual sales events, where he definitely filled their vehicles with his beloved compost. So come on down, we'll take a look at this operation. The whole facility was built in 2004 with a $25,000 grant from the Maine State Planning Office under a program called the Solid Waste Diversion Grant. When the State Planning Office was disbanded, the program came to Maine DEP, and it's currently run out of the Division of Materials Management. What you see here is a 75-foot by 100-foot asphalt composting pad surrounded by waste concrete block walls. These walls provide a surface to push against to help load the loader. And what you see are three piles that are ready for sale at our event next week. And specifically what we do is we bring in horse manure from the racetrack and food scraps from the University of Maine cafeteria during normal school hours. During the summer, the operation doesn't run because the students aren't at the campus. And basically what we do is we compost from the fall to the spring, and we have a spring sale, and then whatever's left over we let compost further through the summer, and then we have a fall sale called Put Your Garden to Bed sale. And the idea is that this material is sold for around $30 a cubic yard, which is enough money to pay for the whole facility, to pay for all the operations, so it does not cost the town or the University of Maine anything in order to operate. So what we have here is what's called a composting biofilter filter system. The way this works is the recycling facility that used to be up at the top of the hill had a ton of glass that they couldn't recycle for whatever reason. It just wasn't a good market. It was really difficult to do, and they needed to do something with it. So what we ended up doing was we dug a hole along the base of the pad. The pad tips in this direction, so we dug a hole here and we lined it with a geomembrane like you put inside a landfill. And then we had a whole bunch of glass bottles that they drove over with their skid steer, the one that has hard rubber tires, and they smashed it up into little pieces, and we deposited it all through this hole that we dug after we put the liner in. And then we put compost on top of that and let it naturally vegetate. And what happens is that when the compost has any leachate, or you have a rain event, or there's a problem, it all flows in this direction into this area where if it's moving in any velocity, it decreases the velocity, but it allows those nutrients that are in that leachate to be absorbed by all the vegetation that grows on this biofilter. So when it does discharge, it discharges mostly clean water. The other type of biofilter that I mentioned in a previous webinar is where you put compost on top of a pile, and that helps prevent odors if you have an odorous pile. There you go.
Okay, so Mark's going to test the temperature of the pile. He's going to go in 1 foot, wait a couple minutes for it to calibrate. And then after he gets his measurement, he's going to go in 3 feet, get that measurement, do 5 times around the pile, and then each time you do this, remember to come back to the same area that you did the last ones.
Thank you.